US Army top brass are shocked to their core because increasingly young white Americans don't want to join the US military. Gee, I wonder why.
White supremacy.
White supremacy.
White supremacy.
White rage.
U.S. Navy is approaching a drag queen influencer to help persuade new recruits into joining the military.
Hello, my name is Admiral Rachel Levine.
In 2023, the US Army missed its recruitment goal of 65,000 soldiers, falling short by 10,000 soldiers. In 2018, there were over 44,000 white Army recruits, and every year since that's been in decline. 5 years later, in 2023, the number of white recruits has dropped to just over 25,000. So they've lost not far off half the amount of white recruits that they would normally expect to get. Now less than half, just 44% of all new US Army recruits are white, down from 56.4% in 2018. We're a long way removed from our grandfathers and great-grandfathers who stormed the beaches of Normandy and raised the flag on Iwo Jima. And although the percentage of black and Hispanic recruits has risen, that's only because they've become a greater total of the overall percentage because there are fewer white people. The actual number of black and Hispanic recruits has flatlined, and the fall in white recruits far outpaces any natural demographic change, so it's not that. Data experts and army officials interviewed by military.com noted they don't see a single cause to the recruiting problem. They're totally baffled, suggesting it could be related to a growing obesity epidemic and an underfunded public education system. Could there be another reason why white Americans, overwhelmingly white men, are less keen on joining the US Army over the last 5 years? And could it have anything whatsoever to do with the fact that the Biden administration and military leadership have made it abundantly clear that they hate white men? Possibly some kind of connection there, maybe. Just maybe. Just a hint of a link between the president repeatedly vilifying white people as domestic extremists.
The most lethal terrorist threat to the homeland today. White supremacy is terrorism.
The poison of white supremacy.
White supremacy.
And white people not wanting to represent a regime that puts them in the same bracket as Islamic terrorists. The then head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley, gets up in front of Congress and goes on an insane rant about white people in America being a major terror threat.
I personally find it offensive that we are accusing the United States military, our general officers, our commissioned, non-commissioned officers, of being, quote, woke. I want to understand white rage. White rage.
This after the country had just gone through nearly a solid year of Black Lives Matter demonstrators raging through the streets, attacking people, killing Trump supporters, burning down buildings, turning entire areas of major cities into lawless hellholes. Yeah, but them white people, though.
White rage.
Shortly before his white rage rant, Milley whined about the percentage of black people not being high enough in the US military. Well, it's a lot higher now. As far back as 2011, the media was amplifying the narrative that there were too many whites in the US military. Well, in 2023 compared to 2011 as a percentage, there are a lot fewer now. I mean, shouldn't you be happy? You got precisely what you asked for. It's a debate that's raged for generations. Boxers or briefs? Briefs? You're having a laugh, aren't you? There's no debate when it comes to keeping your meat and 2 veg dry and comfortable. Unless you actually want a sweaty and clammy ball sack, and if you do, well, you need to see someone about that. Sheath underwear has settled the debate for good. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Invented by a US Army veteran who came up with the idea during his second tour of Iraq, Sheath uses a modern ergonomic design intended to prevent skin-on-skin contact for long durations, which can build up heat and sweat. What you get is the most exquisite blend of fabrics to ensure less chafing and less readjusting. And to be brutally honest, less pong. We're all busy, it's hot, it's hectic, and it can get complicated down there. That's why Sheath has 2, count them, 2 individual compartments to keep everything cool, calm and collected, providing you with long-lasting comfort and moisture prevention even in the most extreme circumstances. Scientifically engineered and carefully crafted, Sheath's isolation pouch technology is going to keep your boys safely ensconced in their barracks. I mean, why wouldn't you want to treat your crown jewels like royalty? Use code PRISONPLANET at checkout or go to sheathunderwear.com/prisonplanet for 20% off. All you need to do is click the link in the description box down below to take advantage of that massive discount. And remember, it's beyond crucial that you're able to show your support for me by supporting my sponsors. That's sheathunderwear.com/prisonplanet. Check out the link down below. Could the US military's recruitment shortfall, particularly of white men, have anything to do with who they're choosing to do the recruiting?
U.S. Navy is approaching a drag queen influencer to help persuade new recruits into joining the military.
A drag queen influencer? Wow, so inspiring. Sign me up.
Yeoman second-class Joshua Kelly, who goes by Harpy Daniels, announced back in November that he was the Navy's new digital ambassador. Their attempts to increase interest among young people amongst a historic recruitment crisis.
Oh yes, that massive pool of potential recruits to the US Army who are... checks notes. Into drag queen influencers. The Army declined Military.com's request to share its regional recruiting data, which could show that specific parts of the country are struggling. Wonder if it's red states. Could it be red states? Hilariously, an Army official blamed partisan attacks from conservative lawmakers and media, which has an overwhelmingly white audience. Yeah, apparently it's their fault. And nothing to do with the fact that you put out recruitment ads centered around the soldier with two moms who gushes about attending gay pride parades.
Eventually standing at the altar to marry my other mom. I also marched for equality. I like to think I've been defending freedom from an early age.
They blame conservatives for attacking the military as woke. Like they're the source of the problem for pointing out the problem. The source of the problem is that you are woke. That's why young men in red states don't want to join the anti-white LGBTQ drag queen rainbow forces. Not because Tucker Carlson complained about it. Take a look in the fucking mirror. You think young white men get surges of patriotism and rush down to the nearest recruiting center when they see drag queen shows being held at US Air Force bases, when they see drag queen story time being planned for the children of military families, when they see military bases hosting hypersexualized performances by drag queens that include bouncy castles and face painting in a bid to encourage children to attend, when they see the Air Force tweeting images of service members saluting gay flags, when they read the touching story of the depressed transgender major, when they see new recruits being made to parade around in women's high heels, when they send active duty members on diversity hikes for Pride Month. When they see this...
Hello, my name is Admiral Rachel Levine. Happy Pride. Happy Pride Month, and actually, let's declare it a summer of pride.
When they see what they're actually being sent to fight for, the chance to fly the Progress Pride flag and spread LGBTQism around the world, the chance to be cannon fodder for NATO because this clown already fed his own country's young men into a pointless meat grinder, the chance to get embroiled in an interminable ethnic blood feud thousands of miles away, the chance to die for Israel in a Middle Eastern quagmire under the command of President Nikki Haley.
You know, I think it's so funny that so many Gen Zers in America are supporting Hamas, because with the way things are going with the world, who do you think is going to be the ones getting drafted to fight them? It's gonna be you guys.
Yeah, no thanks. Respondents to the Military.com article made it very clear why they're not interested in joining the US Army. I'm shocked young white men are refusing to sign up to die for a government that hates them. It's almost like we don't want to risk our lives for a country that spits in our face daily. They'd be foolish to risk their lives defending a regime that hates them. Turns out when you spend a decade telling people they're evil, they and their kids don't want to fight in your wars anymore. Who could possibly have anticipated this? Here's a wacky, totally out there suggestion to US military recruiters who are concerned about a dwindling number of white recruits. How about stop insulting their intelligence? Stop taking sides on culture war issues which repulse them, and stop treating them like absolute shit. If you value what I do and you want to help support me, please visit pauljosephwatson.locals.com and either pledge a one-time donation or subscribe to join my community, get early access videos, and message me directly. And exclusive live streams coming soon too. Promise. Check out the Locals link down in the description. And don't forget to take a look at the brand new website, modernity.news. That's where you'll find all my content, including exclusive articles. That's modernity.news.